Welcome, friends in the industry by Event Rental Professional with Susanna DeBeer. Today, we are connecting with Ron Kronebusch, and he is from Ottawa, Ontario, but he grew up in Glenwood, Alberta, a small farming community. At age 16, Ron entered the Show Biz industry and became a party DJ. At 18, he set his mind to gain as much knowledge as possible about showbiz and started KMP Entertainment Productions, now known as KMP Events Canada. In 2017, Ron entered into the party rental industry and for the last 8 years runs a successful party rental online store. You can check it out at www.ronrentanythingstore.com. Ron is known for the one-stop solution for any wedding, company, and party and event of anywhere here in Ottawa. His 48 years in experience tell a true story. So let's learn more about Ron. Ron, welcome. And here we get started. So tell us a little bit more about your journey and what inspired you to pursue your current career path.
Yeah, thanks, Suzanne, for having me here. What pursued me in my career path? Basically, I was just kind of like thrown into it. I wasn't asking for just to be into business or anything like that. But just quickly, I think the main part of my journey in the business world is by other people, whether it's family, friends, mentors, or people you meet within the industry to help you keep positive to move forward within your your goals and journey in what you pursue.
Very, for sure. Absolutely. Well, you need to have all that. You need to have the goal, the drive, the motivation, right? It's just part of
Hmm.
business.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. Over your years, because you have had so many years of experience, what has been the most challenging aspect of your work and in your business, and how have you overcome that?
Well, first would be knowledge, because I had no prior experience. So, knowledge education is very important. I mean, there's many obstacles that you go through when you're running a business. Would I have any one specific in front? Probably not, because they all intertwine to eventually get through them and be able to form a business that you enjoy, or which would be, a lot of things like finances. Bank's not going to lend you money. So you have to have, so I'm very motivated. So how I got through all that, which basically was, how do you start a business with no money? How do you do this? How do you do that with no money? Well, you have to be smart, and you have to be kind of like, don't have those brick walls hold you back. You have to find a way to break through them. And whether it's working 3 jobs just to make ends meet and get your business going, that's what I did. I always had a day job. I always had ways to make money. So that's why we say in showbiz, anyways, that 16 hours a day, and same with other entrepreneurs, whether they're working a second job or not, it doesn't really matter. But 16-hour days, 7 days a week, sometimes even more than that, to get through and find. I mean, don't overtire yourself, which I've done, which is not a good idea because your brain doesn't think very good that way. But you have to take control and find ways, whether it's through friends, family, you know, and just get through those barriers. There's many of them.
Exactly. And it's, there are hurdles, right? And you just got
Yeah,
to keep leaping over them
yeah, that's right.
as they come.
And and the more you jump over those hurdles or break through the brick wall, the more smarter and more. I mean, it's like there's 5 doors up there, and you pick one door and it's the wrong door. By the time you figure out the answer, you've probably gone through not even 5 doors, but 10 doors just to find the answer. But you can't quit. You got to find a solution.
Right. And this all ties into, it's so important that in your business there is a moment where it's either changing direction or you're pivoting because the industry is changing or your environment has changed. There's always a reason. So can you share with us an important moment in your career that changed the direction you were going?
Yeah. So the changes have been going since I was 18 years old, and And because I set my mind at the very beginning that I wanted to learn as much as I can about business and about showbiz, it doesn't really matter. Mainly you have the concept of what you want to do. Now, how do you monetize on that? And how do you sell that to your clients or your customers in regards to, is it just a trend? Is it going to last you 3 months, 6 months, and then it's not going to be um, wanted anymore? Or is it going to be able to continue? So what I did is when I started, especially through COVID, when everything shut down and my mind, through the years of experience, when I was trying to plan how to form a one-stop shop or one-stop solution, was the fact that the branding marketing aspect was hard because you're catering to various different people and demographics in regards to age difference. Who is somebody that's getting married going to call a production company? They may call a DJ, but they're not, they're going to also call a rental store. So there's all these elements that you have to do, and now you have to build a puzzle to figure out, okay, well, what does the client want? How am I going to pivot from what I'm doing now, which I do maybe 100 things, but if you focus on certain elements that the client wants, so maybe you're down to like four, like they have kids, you have to analyze your demographics. So your family has, 5 kids, they're bored, they're staying at home. So what do you come up with? You got to pivot from a DJ, from playing music, to now selling and marketing rental items to people that used to dance at a nightclub, right? Or now they're married, they have kids, so now you got to cater to the kids. So you got to come up with fun things, if you keep it fun, then you're going to come up with fun things for or entertainment or activities for your client to do. Now, in other businesses might be different. So you're building a car. Well, how are you going to? I watched a movie on Ferrari, and they're up against Lamborghini and Ferrari, so they had to keep pivoting to make their car better than the other person's, is similar to iPhone and Android. So me, do I have to be different than other rental companies, other people out there? Not really. I just be myself. And do we do the same products? Of course we do. I have a bouncy rental castle. Somebody else has a bouncy rental castle. The only difference is there's 3 times bigger than mine. So I have a small one. They have big ones. So I cater to certain smaller people and private events compared to corporate events. So whether you go private, corporate, or you're selling to the world, you have to pivot to you have to listen to your client, I guess, is the best option that I can say. If you don't listen to your clients, your customers, and accommodate what they want, because one small little word that they say can turn your whole aspect of your business into something else.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you've seen that over time. I mean, you've seen the
Mhm.
change, a huge change from before and post pandemic. So we've all experienced it now, at least those of us that were in business before and now after. And pivoting is important. And those of us that were able to pivot are still here, which is great, right? Like yourself.
Yeah, the thing with pivoting though, like I pivoted about 10 times, or probably, I'd probably say maybe 25, 30 times over 48 years in regards to my mind. The problem with that though is that it looks like you're a scattered brain, like you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. I would say out of all those 15, 20 things that worked, some of them, it's a gamble, lose money, but it is what it is. But the other ones, if you don't try, like I'm a little different. I don't know about how other people think, but I know there's a lot of business people that, they say if you focus on one thing, you become a millionaire. My mind looks at it this way, which is not technically 100% correct, but depending on who you are, whether you can handle it or not, is that so one thing you make $1 million. 20 things, you make $20 million. That's how my mind thinks, but it doesn't always work that way. Because you invest money, and if you take a risk, whenever you pivot, it's always a risk factor. A risk factor is I spend $5,000 in this small little thing. It doesn't have to be big money. I mean, to make money, you can invest as little as $200 and make money off of it, even less than that. But that's another story. But when you pivot, you have to understand that it can be just a trend. It's going to last. You spend, just for an example, you spend $5,000 in investment into your company. you try and market it. You might make it back, you might not. But the joy of it is not about the money anyways. It's about creating your mind to be more creative so that when the more you do it, the more you think outside the box, then mostly the things that you think of outside the box usually works compared to what you think of what's inside the box, like other people. You have to be different. You have to just try something that nobody else has ever done before.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Um, yeah, you're always working on your business, right? It's a work in progress. If you get stagnant, that's not a good thing for your business. And you've shown that by having the opportunity to practice different pivoting points. And of course, not 100% of everything you try is a success. And that's just a way of life in business, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So in your opinion, what are your key qualities or skills that have contributed to your success in your business for the last 48 years, let's say?
Uh, I would say my key factor of my would be my motivation. Negativity, anybody that's negative towards me or towards business in general, whether it's me, you, I always stay focused to say, well, this is for me. I'm trying to, I always have an underlining reason why I want to do something. And that is actually what keeps me motivated, is because if I just look at my business and I wake up every day, it turns into like a typical job. I don't want that. I want to wake up in the morning. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy what I do. It doesn't matter whether you're building cars or changing tires. I don't care what it is. I just met a young lady, 29 years old, started a business when she was 20. I thought she was only 19, but she's 20. She always wanted to be a hairdresser. So what she did, she went to school, got a hairdressing ticket. Now she's working in a office, I mean, in a salon, doing what she enjoys. She does do other things too as well, just like most entrepreneurs do. But I think what it is, it's the education and meeting people is what keeps me motivated. Listening to people and being creative, and business keeps your mind knowledgeable, and if it gets boring, I don't want to do it anymore. But you got to keep it fun. You got to keep it. No matter what it is, that's what keeps me motivated. I think is the people I meet, the travel I do, the full educational purpose of it. It's not even about the money.
Right. And so it sounds like you are motivating yourself every single day to keep moving forward, to innovate, and to thrive in your field. And you do it
Yeah.
naturally.
It's one I always tell everybody that first of all, it's kind of funny because when people say, "How do I become a DJ?" or "How do I become an entrepreneur?" I just says, "Well, you just got to wake up one day and start doing it." It's like a puzzle. You gotta figure out first of all what you want to do, and sometimes there's a lot, myself included. I never asked for this; it just fell on my lap. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed in regards to being able to not have education of what I'm doing and still make money from nothing, because somebody just asked me to do something. And that's also important too, that keeps you motivated, is when you listen to people and you have an open mind to things. It doesn't matter how big or small that idea is or why they asked you. It's up to you as your own decision to say yes or no. And if you say no, yes, we all say no, and then we 6 months later, 2 years later, said, "Ah, I wish I didn't say no. I wish I would have done it. I wish I would have done it." But there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to pick up the pieces, and maybe the next thing comes along. But it's scary. It's very risky when you listen to other people. Is it real? Is it fake? Is it gonna? It's the fear factor of business is the worst enemy that anybody can have. It's like once you jump off. I jumped off. The highest bungee tower in Canada, which was in West Edmonton Mall. It took me 10 minutes to jump off that bungee tower, but when I jumped off and after it was all over and done, it's like the fear just goes right out of you and you don't care anymore. Like you don't care if you jump off. I mean, I'm not saying anybody do it, but it's like business too. Once you do it and you have that courage to jump off, you know, with a rope, of course, but you get through what you are afraid of, then you're going to be more successful because that fear is not in your way anymore. It's like somebody said,
Exactly.
"How can you rent out $10,000 worth of gear?" Like another DJ friend of mine, and it's the same concept.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I have insurance on it. Second, you know, it's a chance I take. If somebody wrecks my gear and I don't get the money back for it because they can't afford it, whatever the reason is, it doesn't really matter. I just lost $10,000. Okay, so be it. I try again and make sure that I do, because it's not always the business fault. It's my fault for not looking at the risk factors and making sure that those risk factors are looked after, whether I have insurance or I don't have insurance, whatever. But the average of anything, maybe in my business anyways, I would say, and I've talked to other people from London, Ontario and stuff that do the same thing. They said the risk factor of anything going wrong within a business in what we do in regards to rentals, maybe 5%, maybe 10%. It's not very much because you will still do more successful transactions within your business than you will on the risk factors of 5% or even less, if you
Right.
understand what I'm saying.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. Now, if you take a thought back into your years, what is the most or your most proud of event that you've ever been part of?
The proudest event I've been proud of,
Yeah.
that I did personally, or
Well, that you
well,
were part of, or that
yeah, yeah,
provided
okay.
your services for.
I think the most important thing is when I put back into the community, that's very important when I help various charities that I support as well as some that I don't support in regards to, I'll do a lot of charities, by, not that I don't support them, but it's by putting back into the community for, like, I do the Lions Club, I do United Way, charities like that, because it's a way to, I'm successful in what I do, so I want to put back into the community because it's our responsibility as business entrepreneurs to help out the community to make it better. And when I help like that, then it's not so much that I get other connections from it. It's the fact that I feel good that somebody else has an opportunity to, especially when they do entrepreneurs things and sponsorship, certain events that I've done, is to also give other people a chance to be able to be successful in what they want to do in their dreams and their life. So.
Yes, for sure, for sure. And that's a great aspect, right? You have
Mhm.
that choice to make because you are the entrepreneur, you are the business owner, so you could decide how you're going to manage all of that. And you're handling that
Mhm.
really well, very, very well. Now, looking ahead into the future, a little bit of a future here. What are your goals and aspirations to with your current business?
Well, that's the hard one because I've been working on it for the last 5 years, actually. It's very tough because it's never been done before, as far as I know. So, my goal for my business in the next, just to say 2 to 5 years, is to, back in the old days, we used to have on the job training, which was paid jobs. Not that I have anything against schooling, but I find that it's tough out there because of there's a lot of elements in regards to people not being able to be successful, because everybody's not going to be a millionaire. Everybody's not going to have a business. Some people don't want to have business. Some people do. So what I've trying to do is to find young, well, they don't have to be young, they can be anybody technically that wants to learn, that wants to be an entrepreneur, but doesn't have the money to go to school, or even if they do have money to go to school, it doesn't really matter. There's all these elements. The main purpose is to have people come in, which I already have three right now, that are learning the business, that they get paid by learning, for on the job training. And if they want to take over the business, I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to turn it into a school, meaning that it'll be a school slash workplace, meaning that people can come, learn the business, make as much money as they want, and we all take a percentage of whatever, and be able to be successful without having to work a 9 to 5 job at low income. It's more like taking it away from me, giving it to somebody else, and have them give that opportunity to be able to be a business person entrepreneur with the projects that I have, various projects that they can sign on to, and they do the negotiation. They do all the learning, just like I did when I started at 16, knowing absolutely nothing.
Right.
So
Well,
that's
sounds
my,
like a great venture, Ron. This is amazing.
yeah. The only problem is, it's very hard to find people that want to do that without selling the company outright. If
Yeah.
if I answered your question.
Oh no, for sure. And of course, all of your contact details and everything is going to be at the end of the video, and it'll be in the
Mhm.
description of the video as well, so people can definitely reach out to you, because you just never know who is going to be ready that wants to do something for themselves, to learn about business for themselves. And what a perfect way to do it than to do it with you, right? It just makes
Yeah,
sense.
and you have to learn how to have a good team too. Like
Exactly.
I've had many. I mean, there's two types of. Well, in my opinion, there's two types of people. One that do things for the money, which is fine because we all need to. I mean, I've done things just for the money. And I don't care about the job. But my
Oh yes.
business, but my business, But the difference between the business and a 9 to 5 job is the fact that I would get up in the morning to do my business, whether I got paid or not,
Correct.
right? Whether I pay myself or not, I would still go out and do it. That's hard to find in people, and it's not the fact, and you probably already know too as well. It's not the fact that you don't want to make money. It's the fact that you're doing something that you would get up and do for free, because that's your passion of what you do as well. And myself and anybody else, it's not the fact that you can't make money off of it. It's just the fact that it's hard to find people that are committed to getting up and not worrying about the money. They're worrying about the business structure and putting time and effort into that. And then hopefully, well, it's not hopefully, the money will come. You might not make $1 million out of it, but you still, it's not the fact, it's the fact that the other one good reason that I missed mentioning to you is why I do this is not the fact that whether I'm successful or not, is the fact that I set goals, or we set goals. But for me, I set a goal and it's about accomplishing what I set my mind out to be. That's why I do this. It's not the fact whether, I'm I mean, I'm successful in what I do. And it's, the successfulness of that is not related around money. It's related around what I've accomplished in regards to this project or that project. Oh, I finished it, and it's really, it's like building a model car. You don't quit until it's all completed, and you see that in kids. They keep trying to build it, and they keep bugging you because they need help building this model car, and then once it's completed, you're happy, and you have that self satisfaction that you actually accomplished something that you set your mind out to. That's what keeps me motivated in this.
Oh, perfect. Yes. And in business, like yourself, you've been around, if you don't motivate and keep yourself motivated and keep on going, then your business stops. There's always motion. If you're not in motion, then it's not a good thing in business, is it?
No, and you gotta have partners too. Like I learned just recently from, and people that have, very successful multimillionaires, things like that. They always tell me, it's not about the money, it's about education, it's about helping other people. And that's important. Because if you do that, then you network with other people, and your partnership, there's no such thing as competition. I mean, who makes I mean, maybe in some aspects in business, but most of, what are you fighting over? Prices, are you going to go out and, I mean, like for me, I can't go out and buy 10, $20 million worth of stuff. I'm not even going to bother trying. So the one-stop shop thing is technically just comes down to facilitating facilitating whatever you do in your business to help other people succeed on what they want, whether it's building a building, like a contract, like a big apartment block or an office tower. They all use different people to help build that. They don't do it all themselves. So can you do business by yourself? I suppose you could, but you're not going to be very happy when you do that. So if you learn to market with other people, partner. I mean, I do that with a lot of DJs. They just like, so hate to say it, but they want everything for themselves. And I says, it doesn't work that way out here, guys. I said, you got to learn how to network and how to partner with other people. Yes, can they steal a contract from you? Probably. You going to worry about that? you're going to worry about one or two contracts that they steal from you than the other eight. That's just my theory. Sure, there's some bad people out there that will take whatever you have and run with it, but what do you do? You can't worry about it too much. I mean, and if you are having that, you got to have within what we do, it's one big happy family. And you have somebody that's, doing something wrong, and just like I have a mentor, and Steve, he always comes and tells me what I'm doing wrong, what I'm, how to do things better, blah, blah, blah. So I don't get into that trap of just myself, you know what I mean? I'm
Exactly.
explaining that. Yeah.
Well, we're
So
coming
you
to an end here. So what I'm going to
oh
ask
yeah,
now
lots
is,
to talk about. I know. I
I
love it.
know this so much. I know this always so much. So let's
Yeah.
end with a fun note. Share a fun
Okay.
fact about yourself.
Fun fact about myself, I'm
Yeah,
still 25 and kicking.
I love it. I like that fact. That's an amazing fact.
I like to go out and party and well, not too much party anymore, but you got within business, so you got I'm finding that you have to spend time for yourself too. And I love to travel. I love music. I love dancing. I don't cook very good, but fun thing about me is I'm very outgoing, and I like to just create, just get out to nature and relax. And I love to travel on day trips every week. At least 1 to 2 days I take off, get out of the city. And that's one thing about me and my business. I can do that when I travel, because I travel all across Canada and the States doing events and stuff too as well. So that's another reason why I do, because I get to travel. So it's a holiday, working holiday, I call it. So
And that's okay. And that's a great fun
mhm.
fact, right? Because you have created this for yourself. This is not a must. This is something that you want to do.
Yeah, that's a good point. The I was going to bring up, thanks for reminding me. I always learned that when you go into business, do it for yourself, not for somebody else. Do it because you're going to have everybody tell you how to do things. If it does, some things will work for you, some things will not. So
Exactly.
take the things that is best for you, leave the rest of them in the back burner. Don't throw them away, because one day you might need it. It's just with all this information that people give you, may not be you may not be ready for your business at that specific time. But if you hold on to all those tidbits of information, 5 years down the road, you're going to say, "Oh, I remember what Dave told me," and it's on the back burner. So now you pull out what Dave told you, and Dave also mentioned to me, which stuck with me for a long time, was that, Ron, you didn't make a mistake. You just have to find a different way of doing things. That's it. So,
Exactly. And it's reminding ourselves of that. That's amazing. Well, I want to thank you, Ron, for meeting with me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And
thank you for
since we
having
are,
me.
oh, you're very welcome. And since we're in the same city, I'm sure I'll be seeing you around, and for sure I'll see you tomorrow at a
Oh,
networking event, which
yeah,
is great.
yeah, yeah. At the
And
event tomorrow. Yeah,
we'll connect tomorrow. Now, make it a great day, and all of our listeners and viewers, as always, we wish you best in your success in your business.
yeah, and you too. Yeah, thank you so much.